A very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of the program Big Talk, a program where we highlight political discussions concerning Nigeria and where we are as a people, as a country, as we try to move our country forward. My name is Ubom Osoro in Abuja, welcoming you to the program tonight as we look at leadership in Nigeria as we move forward towards the 2027 general elections. We've seen different political parties who've done their conventions. One of those political parties is a party called PRP, People's Redemption Party. We've also seen them go ahead to host their convention and have following INEC guidelines, having new executives of the party emerging from that process of convention. And there are a lot of discussions about it. Some persons have talked about the fact that it seems that a consensus is a new way of choosing leaders for political parties, especially with what we saw happen with the APC convention. I was live on ground at that convention and we saw this happen very well. Same thing with the PDP convention. We also saw the People's Democratic Party choosing and going for convention, consensus in choosing the leadership of the party at the convention here at the Velodrome in Abuja. Right, the national chairman, Abdurrahman Mohammed, was chosen as a candidate of being the national chairman of the party, the People's Democratic Party, and Samuel Anyanwu came back, returned as the national secretary of the party. But tonight we look at the People's Redemption Party, another party that has had its national convention of recent. Stay with us because when we come back, we get right into our conversation. Please stay with us.
Politics decides our economy. Politics shapes our security. Politics defines our future. But who is asking the hard question?
Is intimidating governors to our opposition, and some allegations even say monies are offered to the tune of billions of naira to these governors to come to the APC.
On Big Talk, we take politics beyond party lines and press statements. We interrogate policies, challenge power,
and it shall be addressed,
and demand accountability from those who govern, from the presidency to the National Assembly, from state governments to grassroots politics. We break down the decisions that affect your daily life. No propaganda, no political comfort zone, just facts, context, and fearless conversations. Big Talk is where leaders explain, analysts dissect, and the people understand.
2015 elections were not held. They are doing rigging.
Don't just watch politics, question it. Tune in to Big Talk on Global Television every weekday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation.
We look at national leadership, how we can drive our country forward and how we get to do that. And like I was saying before we went on that break, we've had the People's Democratic Party. They've gone ahead to do their national convention. We've also seen the APC, a covered bull of the convention. The APC has also gone ahead to do a convention. And one of the other parties that has gone ahead to do its convention is the People's Redemption Party, PRP. And we have joining us live in our Abuja studios to help make sense of this discussion as we look at national development, providing strategic leadership for Nigeria's future is Comrade Etiama Iyang. He's the PRP presidential aspirant. Thank you so much, Comrade, for coming to our studios.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. I understand you've not been in Nigeria for quite a while. So how is Nigeria?
Nigeria is good, actually. Home is always better than anywhere else, actually. Yes, that's it, exactly. So it's good to be home.
All right.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
Your party, the PRP, has done its convention. How was the convention?
Yeah, quite a successful one. We had the 36 states of the Federation represented. So that was a good one for PRP. Yeah, and I would say it was a landmark event. Actually, that was on Saturday. Yes, it was a successful one. We had new executives emerging from the national president, of the national chairman, of the party, down to other executives of the party across the nation, basically.
All right. So we've seen parties. I was at the PDP's convention, the APC's convention. It was consensus all through. Was that what the PRP did?
No, we did an actual election. Yes, we had delegates actually from the 36 states. I was actually there when we're all called up, and then we were should I say confirmed or registered, and then the process now started. Accredited, yes, fine. So it was an actual election, yes, for those offices. It wasn't consensus like yes.
Because we're seeing parties now going consensus.
Yeah, this wasn't, because PRP is actually for the people. It's about the people. So the concept of the people has always got to be applied when it comes to PRP.
You know when I saw that you are a presidential aspirant, and one of the first things we would like to ask is, why don't you start with being a governor? Or some person will say, why don't you even start with being a House of Representative member?
Okay, actually, good points, but the truth is this. The situation in the country is what is informing my reason to want to contest for the #1 office, because there's absolutely nothing a governor can do with the hardship we are going through presently, because the fuel prices is not what the governor can change. Okay, the House of Rep member cannot, well, they probably can, but maybe they're not using all their powers. So this is what informs and how do we solve this problem? Just go for the #1 seat. If you can get it, change things. That's it. Otherwise, again, the narrative of the nations is suiting the general cry of the people right now. Hardship because of high cost of living due to high cost of fuel. You have also seen the Iran war right now impacting on us almost very directly in days. And we were already suffering and crying out loud for high cost of fuel. And then suddenly it's spiking. Is it at 1.4 or 1.350 or 1.375? Where are we going to with all of this?
Right. So, but I was just looking at the reports by a friend of mine in the US, and also in the US, the price of gas has also gone up, right? A 40k gallon goes upwards of 115 and all of it. So it's everywhere in the world. So we cannot reduce or remove Nigeria from the global economy.
You cannot somewhat, but you see, that doesn't apply in the case of Nigeria, because the truth be told, in America, and maybe in the Western world, in the developed world, the people are factored into the economy. In the planning processes of those countries' economies, the people are catered for. So if there are shocks in the economy, it won't really impact on the people that much, because they were already part of the plan. In Nigeria, we are not a part of the system. The system belongs to the elites. And this is even why I want to show up, because the system favors the elites. No matter how the economy turns right now, it will favor the elites, because they're the ones that are in politics, or the ones that hold big shares in the companies. And so who gets the first place when it comes to share stuff? It is the owners of the companies, and these are our big boys. And the truth be told, that the economy cannot continue to favor only the elites, and you expect the people to be factored. So this is the issue. Our economy in Nigeria shouldn't be compared to US, because US has a planned economy that has favored the people from onset. Nigeria's system hasn't factored a place for its people. So any shock, now again in US, you're not only producing oil and gas. Basically, there are other things they are manufacturing. They manufacture Ford cars. What is Nigeria manufacturing? Because even Innocent is not actually manufacturing locally. He can design and give the parts, the parts to some other countries to manufacture and bring and for assembly here. But in Nigeria, iron ore is not being worked from the source to finished products. So you can't compare the two economies. This is where you have to just draw a line and say, let US be US, let Nigeria be Nigeria. Let's solve our problem. Our people are not a part of the system. Presently, the economy is working for the elite. And this is one of the reasons why I want to contest for that office, because if it continues to work for only the elites, we are finished.
All right, so somebody will want to ask, why not the APC? Why not the PDP? In fact, even the Labour Party and even the ADC. Why the PRP?
Oh, you've already seen from there. Let's talk about the presidents. What standards have they set? What has been the result of governance of PDP and APC? Now, what are they? Even the ADC, as we speak, APC, ADC, PDP. Okay, ADC is forming a coalition based on, let me just say aggrieved people. Let me say it that way, because more of the same crop of people are trying to change the nation. And so I cannot fit in there, because in the first place, maybe what they'll be calling for nomination forms would be somewhere we cannot afford. It doesn't fit in for people in my class. That's why I say those parties are for the elites. The elites set them up. So the elites will always look for a way to get around the system all the time. I don't fit in there. Again, if I want to come in there, they will not allow somebody like me, probably with this kind of opinion, to come in. And again, if they allow, I won't smile on some people at the end of the day, because we have a lot of corruption, and this corruption has to be dealt with. So that's why I preferred a party that his manifesto suits the narrative of the people. It can resonate with the people. People's Redemption Party. They're out to redeem the people. And again, it tallies with my own movement in 2023, Masses Freedom Movement. So I like that rhythm. The freedom of the people, the redemption of the people is our cause. So it's what we believe in, and that's what we exemplify. So this analogy I'm giving doesn't fit into the present ruling class, because they are overwhelmingly dominated by the elites, in which we, the people, in 2027 election, we are coming, let me not say against the elite, but more like it's going to be a contest between the people class and the elite class. That is what I see 2027.
All right, so if you are contesting in 2027, and people want to ask, you would have started doing a lot of work before now, because it seems the time for our preparation is fast spent. And at least we know the front runner that may be contesting. People will mention Bola Ahmed, Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar. And where is your name in that list?
Okay, it's a question of the narrative. I'm coming with a narrative that suits that will resonate with the people.
And you can do it in 8 months, in 9 months?
Yes, I can do it in 9 months. All I just want to be sure of is that I come out as a flag bearer, and the deal will be done. Because again, let me say this, there is a movement that is now Nigeria It's Time movement is what I'm bringing on board, asking Nigerians to join the movement, more of a coalition of the people, not parties now. A coalition of the people who are downtrodden. Let's come together. We are people that say we are fed up of the way we are being governed.
Are you part of the elite?
Yes, I am.
Are you part of the elite?
The elite? No, I'm not part of the elite.
No, for somebody who...
No, I'm not part of the elite.
Somebody who stays in the US, you are not an elite in Nigeria.
No.
There are many Nigerians who cannot afford 50,000 naira in a month.
No. You see, more of is the mentality one. Then again is you're being able to stay with the people and do things.
What are the resources?
The resources, of course, is legit, is genuine. Okay, and of course, so you know how to spend, and you know what. So in the case of even coming for this, it's not about I have excess like maybe some of these other contestants. So that's not it. I am with the people. I believe in the people's votes, and I want to be sure if the people can come out, 90 million Nigerians can dare to say they come out. APC can rig the election. But what I've seen in the elections is that even in 2023, I was a bit surprised. I thought maybe total votes would even reach like 50 million, but surprisingly, it wasn't up to 30 million. Total, everything put together, even as much as loud as it was online. But the truth now be told, let us use the power of the people this time and vote and see if we can get up to 70 to 90 million votes from the people. So my campaign will be grassroots, not about sharing money. I can't do that. One message. We are fed up of the system and how we are being governed. If you're fed up, join the thing. If you're not fed up, then you're part
in the words of Peter Obi, you do not give shishi.
Not exactly, but in a way that I want the people to see that it is our collective problem. Right. It's not just my problem. I could be okay. Do you understand me? Though not elite, but I could be okay because I don't think that like the elites. Even if I belong to that class, I reason differently because if you say you're elite and you don't care for the rest, then something is wrong. So this is about care. Do you bother about the people down in the pyramid of needs? So, or you just abandon yourselves up there like we have in our National Assembly? These people are elected by the people, but they go there and take decisions against the people. On earth, how does that work?
Right. So there's a place of coalition that we've seen, some politicians joining with other politicians. Is that something you may be exploring?
Yes, of course, down the line there could be reasons for collaborations, okay, but our principles are clear. We are in for the people. Collaborations that will not align with that interest, they should just forget it. We are willing to go in and get the job done. If we lose, let's lose fairly. Let it be on a clear terms, not because you are trying to swindle things and all of that. If they want to win, let them win clear. Let us have digital, electronic publication of these votes, okay, as it comes in, and not something that you say some areas may not have network already, making the people to fear, that there will be no such things. And I want to, if I may say, that law the Senate passed,
the Electoral Act,
that, okay, maybe some places making the people feel that there may be network failure. I want to say, if they're supposed to use MTN, Airtel, or Globacom for those services, those companies should be sure they shouldn't be complicit to the Nigerian electoral system. Because what we want to do is to make sure we indict them ahead of time with the ICJ, International Court of Justice, that you cannot be complicit. If those networks are actually there and you complicit, that is, you work with government to make sure those places didn't work, your company should be taken out of this country, or you'll be dragged abroad for justice. So you can't be complicit to an electoral process that the people should have faith in. So this is what we want to challenge. That particular law they passed, and they seem to have maybe had a way of saying they would, maybe they hide and do some rubbish stuff. But what we want to assure the Nigerian people is this: we will make sure the networks ahead of time informed of they should stay away from being complicit to that.
All right. So, as somebody who I'd like to ask this question now. You see, the 2027 general election is fast approaching, and a lot of narratives have been brought. But one of the things we've seen over time in Nigeria's electoral system is that there's a politics of ethnicity, religion, tribalism. Have you considered all of that? Yeah, and how are you going to be sending your messaging to the north of Nigeria, to the west, that have their son who should be returning back to complete a 4-year tenure? As some persons say, we have a gentleman agreement in Nigeria that the south will do sometime, the north does sometime, and the power rotates within the different systems.
I understand that. Now, the thing is this. Yes, Nigeria has not fully left those tribal sentiments, those ethnic stuff and all of that, religious stuff. But how I hope to navigate this is, one, what is the common problem of everybody, regardless of religion, tribe, or whatever, and which is the bad governance, the bad economy, the difficulty in being able to have a decent living in Nigeria. So that is a problem. So I am getting to make a message pass where we let the people know that those of us that say we are fed up, we are coming together, regardless of our biases, to say it is time to have a Nigeria that works, regardless of religion. So this, I don't hope to use the tribal, because they themselves have used the tribal and religious things to divide us. I know this is deliberate. So we want to get ourselves together as a people and say, let's leave those tribal lines, let's leave those religious lines, regardless of whatever, and then come together with one major problem which we have discovered. We can no longer accept a Nigeria that works in a way that is not satisfying the people. And this is why we want to have the change. Again, if we want to marry a little bit of the North-South thing, yes, that's kind of understanding, okay, or that is not like written, that North-South thing, okay, fine. Bola Ahmed Tinubu right now is from the South, okay, probably by the understanding, there's still 4 more years for the South. So I come from the South in particular, so that means I still have a chance. So if we want to use that narrative, so anybody seeking at this time to think of maybe success, well, we should be thinking about the South anyway, in that sense. But what we should come out to do is to solve the problem that is common to all of us. Listen, the Western world has gone far, and we in this country should be like that at this time. But for 65 years and running, we are still not where we ought to be. And we are saying, with the PRP for Redemption in their manifesto, and myself, my Masses Freedom Movement, or even the Nigeria It's Time movement, they say it is time for a change. How long do we continue like this? Again, not because we don't have resources. We have resources. So why are we doing like this? The petroleum resource is enough for us. Why are we mismanaging it? So it is time for a change. So we are saying we are fed up. Myself, I'm tired. Some people look at me and say, Besa, you're comfortable. You shouldn't be coming. I say, it is not that. I'm thinking of my children and my children's children. I'm thinking also of your children and your children's children. If we don't fix this thing now, then we have a lot of problems tomorrow. So I believe 2027 is the time, not another time. We should all put our acts together, come out as a people, ignore religious, ignore all this tribal stuff, find a common line, a common point where we say we are fed up, enough is enough. It's time for Nigeria to work as advanced countries. Canada, Germany, US, they plan for their people from birth to death. We should plan for Nigerians like that.
All right. So one of the key issues that we've seen in Nigeria over time is the issue of godfatherism, and we've seen that play time and time again in our politics, where we have people who decide, people who have this influence over our political parties. I like to ask: have you considered that? Are you going to be meeting some godfathers to also maybe get their backing?
Okay, I'm not likely going to meet, I don't even have godfather. Okay, so I don't have a godfather. I don't hope to have one, because their interest at times overbears on the candidates and has lots of demands along with it, which is also part of our problem. Even you can see that affects the APC today. Is a godfatherism thing. And if you don't bow to my rules, or nothing will work. So I don't hope to. Even in my campaigns, if I finally emerge as a flag bearer, I don't hope to meet some kings or something. Stay in your domot, okay? What we want to do is meet the people, the streets and the creeks. That's what we want to do. Let's get to the trenches and talk to the people. We come together and vote. We need a system that now works for us. 24 hours power supply. Tinubu said if he does not provide it, he shouldn't be voted. He shouldn't be. So, case closed. We now must have 24 hours supply. If somebody like me ever comes in, it will be 24 hours supply with redundancy. That means enough standby. All right, just like you have 2 gas turbines, one is running, even in your plane, aeroplane, one is running basically, and even if it's a 2, if you have a 10 engine, it's on standby, just running and waiting. If anything happens, the next one kicks in. So that is the kind of pass, because we have the resources. Okay, just talk of something like maybe, so godfatherism doesn't come in, so that I can do what I believe should be done for the people. Okay, let me just say something, okay? Now, why I don't want godfatherism is because what I want to bring on board, like, I want to set up a system for the people, because the people are not involved. the system I'm hoping for, I call it symbolically citizen state.
Citizens.
A citizen state. The citizen state is just like saying a 38th state of the federation. Okay, but it's going to be an agency, an organizational state, an organization. In fact, let me put it the way, a people's development bank. They will develop the people economy first. Because if you develop the people economy first, Nigeria economy will also be affected directly. But in this case, where the country focuses on Nigeria's economy and gives impressive figures to favor IMF and World Bank, but the people are left out, that is not how economy should be run. So what am I doing with this organizational state, this World Bank? A dedication of allocation, just like you give state governments monthly allocation, you give this organizational state allocation monthly, or maybe make it a year, but give it monthly, just like NDDC's form a unit, give that unit monthly to make sure the monies allocated there directly impacts the people. Health, education, any other social stuff they need, even construction, that is, they develop the people, develop the society. What must be standard living, as seen in the Western country? This is what, just like World Bank, they have development partners, they build projects, Exim Bank, they do things and it's built to standard. This bank will be focusing and measuring on the people first. So the people development bank first. Then that location they have, they will now work like World Bank to do projects for the people. Because the allocations you send to state governors, they never really trickle down to the people.
Right. Have you started consultation? Are you meeting people across Nigeria? There's something they say handshake across the Niger. Have you started your handshake across the Niger?
To some extent, but it's more of internally. I've started making some moves, some touches and all of that, connecting with some people, but basically more in touch with the younger generation, which will vote and trying to make them see if they can get their PVCs and all of that. So it's basically with them, okay, and then like I said, some groups, okay, which are more like led by the younger generation. Those are the people I'm trying to get in touch with, because these are the people that what we speak can resonate with them at the same time, and they can easily connect to what we're doing. We're meeting one king or the other, maybe if it ever comes to that, but I'm not going to really relate with the elites, seeking their connections, but it's the people I want to talk to at this point.
So are you saying we should have a society where the elites should be delineated? Even in the US, it's a capitalist economy. A lot of the elites are there.
Yes,
and they contribute to the politics.
No, we will not delineate. We will not segregate them. Okay, but the thing is that if it is okay with the people, they naturally get favored with the system. Take for example, even when I used to be work with oil and gas. Okay, what happens is that if we in Union Pengasa, we go for negotiations with higher management. Okay, when we negotiate those figures and bring back, it still favors our seniors, the higher management, because if you increase salary by 5%, it's going to also cascade to other bigger, even the senior management from supervisors or who don't actually involve in unionism. So if it is okay with the people, if you put a system that suits the people, take for example now, you lower fuel costs, the elites will still buy it at the lower cost, and it will still help them in their production. So if it favors the people, it will favor them. So the point now is this: get a system that favors the people first. Let it be an economic system that favors the people first. Then automatically, basically, the elites will be favored. So it's not segregation, but more like let us go down to the base of the pyramid where the people are. Even the tree, as it grows, before things get to the root, it is from, the shoot, it gets to the roots first.
Right. You know, the first writing of our constitution says we the people. But let's come back, because we've talked a lot about the people. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll still have Itema Yang, who is with us in Abuja studios, as we look at national development, providing strategic leadership for the country. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Politics decides our economy. Politics shapes our security. Politics defines our future. But who is asking the hard question?
Is intimidating governors to our opposition, and some allegations even say monies are offered to the tune of billions of naira to these governors to come to the APC.
On Big Talk, we take politics beyond party lines and press statements. We interrogate policies, challenge power,
and it shall be addressed.
and demand accountability from those who govern, from the presidency to the National Assembly, from state governments to grassroots politics. Will break down the decisions that affect your daily life. No propaganda, no political comfort zone, just facts, context, and fearless conversations. Big Talk is where leaders explain, analysts dissect, and the people understand.
2015 elections were not held. They are doing rigging.
Don't just watch politics, question it. Tune in to Big Talk on Global Television every weekday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation.
Welcome back to the program. Tonight on the show, we are looking at national development and how we can move our country forward. We have joining us Etema Inyang. He is People's Redemption Party presidential aspirant who's joining us live in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much for coming on the program as we discuss how to move Nigeria forward and some of the things we're seeing. But let's look at some of the very serious issues and problems we've had in Nigeria. One of them being the issue of corruption. In fact, in 2015, the APC came into power campaigning on the premise that they were going to stop corruption. What is your thoughts about that, and how are you going to, if you eventually become Nigeria's president, solve the issue of corruption in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much. The issue of corruption is pathetic, and it has to stop. We have to call a spade a spade. If I have the opportunity, if Nigerians will have what it takes to say they want to vote me in, okay, fine. It will be difficult for a Nigerian to wake up and think of corruption. You see, there is this country, I've just forgotten the name right now, but there's a country in I think it's in the Americas, okay, and they have these cultists that have been, they put thousands of them in the prison, all right, and the president has made sure that that prison is like maximum prison, okay. I'm just giving instances, okay, before I come to this, and it's about surrounding that prison is about 6,000 volts of electricity. If you dare to cross, so what are they doing? You don't think of crossing to misbehave, you are gone. Do you understand me? And then they have about 300 soldiers manning that facility of about 20 to 30,000, okay, prisoners there, but it has a capacity of about 80,000. Now, this is it. I will set up a kind of commission. If you face that commission and escape, thank God, if you don't go through jail. But you see, it is time for us to call a spade and stop corruption. Because if we don't, it is what is not allowing the resources of the people to reach the people. How will I even get some of the monies I'm talking about to make sure that it saves the people? Get those ones that were stolen. And we keep hearing of, oh, NNPC, this, NNPC, that, what, they have not returned this trillions missing. Where are they missing to? So accountability is an issue. All right. So what we want to do, or what I would do, is I'll set up a commission, and the commission will be on corruption. There's another one that will be on security. So that is in terms of insurgency. You're going to face those things, and then if you are found guilty, you're not going to go through the normal courts. So it's going to be like special courts that will handle those things. Okay, so you're not going to face like go to a court and then they can take 6 months and then they can take so many months before they finish your trial, and at the end of the day you may end up escaping. No, this is going to be a special stuff. And so you go there, you face your stuff, and if you are indicted, you should go to jail. You should face your crime.
But we already have institutions that are fighting corruption. The EFCC,
I will regime.
ICPC.
I will.
You are not satisfied.
I'm
with
not
the work
satisfied with their performance, because we have a lot of those that should be behind bars still walking around. What are they doing? And that's why I cannot even think of joining a PDP, APC, ADC, because some people need to be behind bars. Truth be told. So we cannot allow, apart from that, where is the money? The people you mentioned, okay, somebody like what's his name, former governor of Kogi State, all right? Yahaya Bello. We still hear stories around it. So why are those people still outside? And the man even said he's even bribed judges. Can you imagine the boldness? So corruption is so bold that it needs a bold person to confront it who is not ready himself to be complicit. I'm ready not to be complicit with all these things. You can't bribe me because from my antecedents, even in Pengassan, you can't turn me to go against the people's choice. That's it for you. So if you have a leader that is deciding to face that corruption, from the oil and gas to every other thing, that thing will be faced. But when you have a leader that is already complicit, he also has business in the oil and gas, he also wants to protect it, that is why the thing is not working, because you cannot catch your friend and put behind him while your friend helped you to get these things. So call a spade, draw a line. If you work in my government, if I emerge, and I hear you did this, I won't listen. Face your stuff. If you're locked up, in fact, if you call me to say maybe I can plead, you're wasting your time. I won't even listen. Let the person face. And I warn anybody I appoint minister, this is the way it will go. So don't even think of compromising. I'm thinking you have a solace in me. I won't go there. So this is it. For me as a person, corruption needs to be faced head on. And it should stop, because the leakages is not allowing the end products to reach the people the way it ought to be. That is why the masses are still suffering. You hear trillions, billions quoted on papers, on media, but you don't see the impact on the people, because somewhere along the line it's gone. I will get those things back as much as, even the ones they have stolen and brought. It is a question of, I say at times again, if you don't have a government that is seen to be decent. Maybe the foreign countries don't see they cannot release the monies you claim has been stolen there to you. So the goodwill is not even there. So I'm coming in with something that maybe if I request America, say, return all these monies I've been seeing, return it, or otherwise I indict you to say that, okay, so you're also benefiting from the corruption if you keep it, because we have a lot of development to do in Nigeria. I want to make sure the system is changed. Listen, if I come in, Nigeria will just be okay for the rest of its existence on earth, if I would say so.
All right. So just to be clear, your thoughts about ending corruption in Nigeria is creates a new agency, tax them with prosecuting those who are alleged, who have allegations of corruption.
Yes.
All right. So, and what happens to the EFCC and
existing
ICPC?
ones? You see, if I
and even the Nigerian police force.
Even the Nigerian police force. You see, what happens is this: Nigeria should expect a system rejig. Do you understand? What is not working should be scrapped. There is no need to dance around something, or I reform it to make it work the way it's supposed to be. I will not appoint you and go back and sleep and you do nonsense. If I hear this, you may not, from your office, you may not reach home. Do you understand that kind of thing? I don't want to hear some things from you I appointed to say oversee that thing. Maybe somebody still walking around. One phone call from my office, you're like, why are we hearing this thing on social media that this person is still outside? Meanwhile, the person is supposed to be indicted. That means your job is on the line any moment from there. And you may never see my face again until another person has taken over from me. This is how this thing is going to be fixed.
All right. So, when Muhammad Buhari campaigned and he talked about ending corruption, a lot of Nigerians thought, he's an ex-military officer. There was war against indiscipline at the time. But when he came, he saw that the fight against corruption, he wasn't really able to do as much as he would have loved to do.
If I want to, I get that. If I want to go back to even the records behind Buhari, the story is not clean. All right, even when he was military president, okay, when Saraki's father had problems with him, petroleum, whatever industry. Do you understand me? So it's even myself. I didn't think Nigerians would vote Buhari, because I remember even the military regime. Okay, so military regimes, military takeovers, there is no law. You do and undo. There's no decency in it. So I didn't believe Buhari will come and do anything decent. in the first place already with the rumor. So as somebody who has some records of maybe some things before, you cannot expect him to turn this in, like you say, he's a repentant whatever, he's now a civilian whatever. I didn't believe that. A military man is a military man, and when he got into power, of course he showed that he couldn't argue whatever he wanted to do, he did as much as he could, okay, but his records hadn't been that clear. But for me, I'm not coming to have things because
it's democracy. You get people, they go to courts, the court can take time. So there's a lot of
yes, there's a lot of stuff. But what it is what it is, and you have to try and follow that. Now, if you get somebody held, the person should face the law. There shouldn't be a situation whereby somebody is supposed to face the law, another person is calling because of some political interest that the person should be let go because the person supported your campaign, blah, blah, blah. So the question is this: I have decided to say, anybody working with my team or whatever, steer clear from corruption. I won't give a listen. All right? So get off it. So if you are indicted, face it. I'll just get a replacement for your stuff.
All right, so one of the other things I like to talk about is Nigeria's economy. We have the highest population in Africa, more than 200 million people, but our per capita is still very poor, and the rate of poverty is increasing. And what do you think, and what will you be doing different to rejig Nigeria's economy?
Okay, for now, like you said, actually, it is true because the way the system is working presently is working in favor, basically, of the elite. It's working for a nation, and it's impressing IMF and World Bank. Now, these institutions, let me go to the roots, were not really set up to favor the people. They were set up to favor the establishment. Okay, so in the case of Africa, the way that is now working is showing that they were not really set up to favor the people. Because I can remember Ugandan president said one time, he said, if he looks for loan right now to do industrialization, they won't give him, but they will give him loan to pay salaries. Does that make sense? If he wants to do something major in his country, so this is how they are structured. Now, what will I do differently? The citizen state, the Citizens Development Bank is going to be given funds to take care of the economy, industrialization, the way it ought to be. People first. If they produce maybe cars, because we're going to go into that. If we, are we buying Toyota cars from Japan? We need to make our cars. We need to industrialize. We need to produce. So that's why power generation has gone. So I'll ensure 24 hours power supply. Then I'll ensure industrialization, but funded from this bank I'm talking about. And it's going to be according to spec. Now, if they do it according to spec, that means they're going to use the database of the country. If they know that presently we are 250 million, and let's say maybe 50 million is out of job. So phase by phase, if you want to pick 5 million, start employing them. So one of the things that Development Bank will do is mandatory job creation. Because we don't have a system like the Western world that is planned for the people. So we are now going to have an institution, which Obama was talking about, an African institution, an institution that is going to plan for the people. So even things like supermarkets or hypermarkets, Walmart is a supermarket, and is even making revenues that is challenging ExxonMobil. At times they make more than ExxonMobil in revenues. So they will establish such stores according to standard, according to spec, and then employ Nigerians, just like Amazon, employ Nigerians, because I need standard of living raised. This is how you bring people, because there is a body that is planning for the people and is planning their health and wealth alongside, and not just entrepreneurs can survive as they like, but even the entrepreneurs, if they go and look for loan and they cannot see any loan, the Bank of Industry is not even offering anything. They ask you to bring collateral that you don't have, and they make sure you don't even have it. So in this case, this bank will make sure it plans the people along with, that is Nigerians along with Nigerians.
So what you are proposing is governments doing business and controlling the wheels of production, some level of socialism.
Definitely, because even in advanced economies, governments have form of control of their economy so that people don't hijack the system. In Nigeria here right now, the shareholders have hijacked the space, basically. Because if you're not working in government, maybe you're not a politician, you're probably working for one of the big industries, all right, or maybe even the banks. And let's call it what it is. Who is the first, who is the priority in these things? It's the shareholders, the top guys, not even the people. So now I want a system that is going to control even cost of food. They produce food. We have a lot of land in the north. So they will make sure, according to standard fertilizer, irrigation, whatever is needed to plant, the way it ought to be. Even in the Western world, they plant, they go into farming and they control. Even if they have people who plant for them, but they have a standard. They make the word a standard of practice. Best practices, as it is done elsewhere, we do that. So this bank is coming with that standard. Make this, employ as many Nigerians. We have a lot of youths everywhere. It will be a massive bank, let's call it what it is, and it will employ a lot of Nigerians as per needs, as well. So when they create these jobs, deliberately, mandatorily, according to the policy, the way they will be set up, then you find out that issues of unemployment will start dying down because they are taking off phase by phase. 10 million, next thing, another 10 million, another. Before you know it, we can now, like US reports, unemployment rate is dropping, unemployment, this is dropping, because they will now be working with the real data. They will do census and really know our population, not this one we are working from, and Bloomberg will be telling us figures. All right?
Right. So one of the things I really want to talk about is the issue of insecurity.
Okay.
Because for more than 15 years now, Nigeria has been grappling with insecurity, and it's been called different names. Banditry, kidnapping is there, and a lot of insecurity, tied down to our country. And what is your plan to securing Nigeria's borders and ending insecurity in the country?
You see, what presently is the problem is some form of complicity. Because if there is no complicity, the insecurity won't be sustained for that long. We have a situation whereby we sat down with insecurity till we needed a foreign country to send a chart, all right? And then that informed us to sit up. Even at that, it didn't stop because there's a lot of loopholes. The Minister of Defense was in one church recently, and the woman of God was telling him, supply those people with complete equipment to fight. I believe Nigerian soldiers can handle this thing. But there is some form of complicity. And the people that we are complaining about in government, even during Jonathan's time, he said that there's Boko Haram in his government. So we still have elements of this complicity in the hierarchy, be it in military, be it in whatever. Now, I am not going to listen to some things. What would work will not be allowed. Now, I will just call maybe the chief of defense staff. I'll ask him a question. The question I'll ask him is this: is your job professional or political? That's what I'll just ask him. The answer he will give me will decide how I go about him or the situation. Do you understand me? To show him, I won't take nonsense. Because if you are experienced in military, you're professionally trained, just like maybe in oil and gas, you ask me some questions, I shouldn't be telling you blah, 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 blah. Because we need those figures to be exact the way it ought to be. So a military man shouldn't be telling me things that sound political. Your job is professional, fix it. And that is where the insecurity will start getting to be nipped. There's nothing like affiliation with a religion or whatever. Deal with it. No matter who is involved. Who is financing it, I don't give a damn. Get the person. If the person is to be locked, like I tell you, there's a second commission that is on insurgency. Don't think of insurgency. Don't think of that kind of terrorism. Don't even think it, because you will face it. And wherever you are needed, you'll be exposed. It's not this one that they said they gave a list to whether Buhari government, they have not still brought out those people. They've given this one. That is why we need a new person on the stage in 2027 who doesn't have links with all these things, and therefore we can set the nation correct. But once you start having somebody who has even a bag of other politics, that's why I don't want to speak directly against this, but the coalition of ADC is just a bunch of just the same crop of people trying to solve the problem, in which they will not solve it because I don't want to say some bad thing, but I'm saying that somebody is on the negative side, and then he wants to solve the problem. He's just going to give you more negative problems.
Right. So the last question I have for you as we end this interaction is that how are the people responding to your messaging, reaching out to Nigerians? And I know it will cost you a lot, to leave your comfort zone. You could stay in the US, do what you are doing, maybe even get your family members, as many as possible, outside of Nigeria, and you'll be fine with the system. Why are you back to Nigeria? One, and how much of that, personal cost, is that to you at the moment?
Okay, actually, though I've been back in Nigeria for a while because I resonate with the people, basically. Now, it is it definitely is going to be a bit stressful to try and communicate, because what the few attempts so far is also faced with people who are fed up, like they are not satisfied with what is going on. It seems like even like the recent law that is passed by National Assembly that seems to have some complicity. Those things weaken the people. So we are going to do massive awareness creation. I will be with the people, social media and grassroots work. That is how I hope to connect with them. And then the narrative that if you are fed up like I am, join me. I will lead. Just follow me. Just make sure you are with me. We are targeting 90 million Nigerians to vote and make sure things get
90
right.
million Nigerians?
Yes, because we are more than that on the voters register.
For the PRP, the other parties also are targeting these voters.
They are not. You see, when you see the APC, cross capital, and all of that, put all of them together, they are not up to 3 million. That's it. So I now want to advocate and talk to the other people that they have not really been coming out to vote, even if you use 2023 data. All right, maybe there were about 20 million in total or 20 something million. So what about the rest? So there is a lot of work with awareness creation and grassroots movements.
Thank you so much, Comrade Itema Inyang, for coming to Abuja Studio. We wish you all of the best in your aspirations with the People's Redemption Party, the PRP. Our very best of regards.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so that's the size of our program for tonight. Remember that Nigeria is our country, and we must consistently and constantly love this country and do our best for the country, the growth and unity and progress of the country. My name is Wong Osoro in Abuja, and this is where we say bye for now.